right? Now, the question is, how do you build a startup? How do you get an idea? And I think one of the most common ideas that common problems that I've seen people approaching me with happens to be, Shawrya, how do we get a good idea, right? So what I would want to do before I talk about this slide or before I talk about this content is give you guys an activity. And the activity is very simple, okay? The activity is that you are supposed to believe that the entire world only consists of the people who are right now in this particular meet. And that's it. And there is nobody outside this meet. And imagine if you guys had to figure out a particular problem statement within your room. I'm pretty sure that none of us are living in heaven, right? That's definitely not the case. So find out the glitches, the opportunities that exist around you in your room within 2 minutes. And this can include any flaws. My tiles are not good enough. My wall gets dirty too soon. I wish I had a tube light with changed colors according to moods, and so on and so forth. And imagine that there are no constraints with respect to technology. Imagine that there is nothing stopping you to construct an entirely new idea whatsoever. So if your room was to look like heaven, what were the things that you would want from your room? I wish to design my walls with 3D effects and my ceiling with full of rainbow colors with the new and technology and my tiles with water 3D effects. Absolutely correct, Arun. Look at your room, find the flaws, and talk about the thing that you would have loved. I wish to have earphones that should not get discharged. Sure. Absolutely correct, Prith. I'd love to have a wardrobe that folds all the clothes inside automatically and keep it organized. Absolutely correct, Shawrya. Valid answer. Ishika says, how about a device that could tell me the number of hours the lights of my room are actually turned on in my absence and would automatically turn on or off the lights as per the day or night time for energy efficiency. Absolutely correct, Ishika. Ishika. I mean, I would have loved if I could, signal lights and every other digital equipment at my gesture, right? So if I do this, then my lights turn on. If I do this, then my then my phone starts getting charged on its own, and so on and so forth, right? I would have loved that. I want to have a dustbin that automatically collects waste. Absolutely correct, Kashif. Thank you so much. So the point is that we could together come up with 5 valid startup ideas in a span of 5 minutes. I guess you'll all agree with that. 7 startup ideas in a span of 5 minutes. And the point is that we were only looking within our rooms as of now. We were not looking outside our rooms. Now you have an entire world to look at if you want to come up with a great startup idea. It's not just limited to what you're seeing within your room. And if you could come up with 7 ideas in 5 minutes for your own room, think about the number of ideas that you could possibly come up with if you look at the entire world. So the problem is not to come up with ideas. Once you start observing things around you, once you start asking yourself the questions that the problems that you're facing on a regular basis. For example, I'm not organized, right? I would love a robot that could automatically arrange my clothes, automatically clean up my room without any trouble from or any involvement from my end, right? So the point is that there are countless business ideas that are right in front of you. However, the problem arises when you have to ask yourself which is the idea that you have to work towards. And that is where you need to ask this very important question, right? What makes something a good idea? And there's a very simple equation that you can follow to figure it out. Okay. The first part of the equation says value of the potential opportunity. Right. So value of the potential opportunity is what we are trying to calculate. Right. We are trying to understand if the value of the potential opportunity is high or not. So how will we look at it? Value of the potential opportunity is equal to number of target customers. How many people are you really trying to solve for? So for example, if I'm only solving a problem for the people who are living in Gurgaon, and that too within my sector, then I'm solving a problem for a very less number of people, right? For example, if there is no departmental store in my colony, and if I'm opening a departmental store in my colony, then I'm solving a very less number of target customers, right? Secondly, the frequency that the solution is used. How many times would this particular person be using your product? Is it going to be daily? Is it going to be weekly? Is it going to be monthly? Is it going to be yearly? Is it going to be once every 5 years, once every decade, once every score of years, and so on and so forth? And the next part is willingness to pay for the current solution, right? So basically, for every problem that we are facing in today's world, there is an existing solution to it that we are already subscribing to. For example, before Netflix, we used to buy those rented DVDs. You remember? Right? Rented DVDs we used to buy at a 50 rupees per DVD price for a period of 1 month. And it used to have 5-6 movies that we used to watch and we used to give it back. That's how we used to go about it before Netflix. So what is the willingness to pay for the current solution? How much are the customers already paying for the current solution? And why are we taking this into account? Because this helps us understand whether the problem that we are solving, is it worth it or not? Are we only solving it for ourselves, or are we solving it for a good number of people? Is it something that people would be using again and again, or is it something that people would be using just once? Is it something that people would be willing to pay for or not? And so on and so forth. And last factor is the level of satisfaction with the current available alternatives, right? If people are already satisfied with the current set of products, why would they want to check out your product? No reason for them to do so, right? For example, we already understand the fact that a lot of people who are joining our cohorts, they don't really like what online courses are offering because they're actually not personalized, right? They're not involving top tier mentors who've been there, done it themselves to actually sit down and have a conversation with you. Here, our objective is not just to simply deliver the content and leave, right? It's actually to understand the problems that you're facing at each and every mode and turn and offer you a personalized solution for it, and by connecting you with top tier mentors who've been there and done that. So the reason why I am sitting over here and having a conversation with you is not because I'm the founder of Metvy, but because of the fact that I have raised three rounds of funding and I've been an active entrepreneur for the last 4.5 years, and that I have been taking sessions and workshops on entrepreneurship for IIMs and IITs and a lot of other top tier institutions in Delhi University, Christ and Xavier's and RC Munji's for the last few years. And I have the pedigree to back it up, right? So the point that you need to look at is, what is the number of target customers? What is the frequency that the solution is used? What is the willingness for the people to actually pay for the current solution? Divide that by the level of satisfaction with current available alternatives. And you won't get these multiples as exact numbers. So you need to look at this definition relatively. If you think that this number is going to be big enough, if all of these factors are satisfying your needs, then you are actually building the right kind of product. If any one of these factors are not satisfying the kind of product that you're trying to solve for, then your product is not good enough, or your idea is not good enough for you to actually give a significant amount of time and energy into it.